Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel for an everyday life of an Aspie. As you're following me right now, I'm doing all about the anxiety series of the PTSD, social anxiety, anxiety in general, and maybe some life stories along the way. If you've been following me right now, just to basically give you an overview right now on the previous video, I was giving you some tips and advice about how to overcome social awkwardness and the definition of social awkwardness, based on actually, the characteristics profile of the 6 that I could think of right now about people that are socially awkward. So without further ado though, guys, welcome back to you all on my channel. My name is AspieAnswersAll, and today's one is all about basically part 2, episode 6, just a recap of what I've shared with you all so far of that overview of social awkwardness versus social anxiety. This is basically the shyness. So here, let's begin. So, right, with social anxiety, basically, just to recap, number 1 is a mental disorder or mental illness. Number 2, basically, it's also known as social phobia, is another term to be called. Number 3, basically, with social phobia and social anxiety, basically, the terms is usually interchangeable depending on the situation, like most clinical terms do interchange. Number 4 is not a characteristic. Number 5 is not an adjective. So let's think about it in that way for a moment, of a clear example to maybe illustrate it out, basically, to gain a better understanding of social anxiety. Or shall we say, a classic example of a phobia, I should say, humbles. Of what I want to illustrate to you as a photo. Maybe here, say you're scared of basically maybe spiders is a classic example. And you say maybe you will look or face your fear basically on this and on it. However, again, it's our choice how to respond or react to it versus, obviously dealing with this, like, as the common reaction will be the flight-fright response here for some of us based on our phobias, whatever it may be. While that phobia is kicking in, basically, with the adrenaline rushing versus for this fight-flight response, another of the adrenaline rushing through our brain, lacking of oxygen, and we'll start to hyperventilate, heavy laboured breathing, basically start to sweat. We may want to run, kick, scream, maybe freak out. Troubles breathing obviously comes with social anxiety, however, as well. However, these classic symptoms are the same as the classic phobias. However, like many, different mental illnesses will have these classic signs and symptoms of similar, as I'm addressing to you all. But then again, basically, with this though, like, for social phobia or social anxiety that I'm going to address to you all, basically, like, we don't tend to face our fears. We tend to just, again, try to avoid a social interaction with the person or social setting we're in. Be a classic example, as I shared with you earlier in the piece, a party that you were invited to. Basically, many people think it will make it worse, basically, by just, leaving it to the extremity, but yet, like anything, if left or treated or managed in the right way, social anxiety, like many other mental illnesses, however, will do get worse over time. However, with social anxiety, you may be able to push the person by saying some common statements to socialize. The most common ones are, "You'll be fine," "Why you're quiet," "What's wrong with you," and more. This will just make the person worse. By a bout of an attack may arise in this case, but do you see the differences of social anxiety versus the classic phobia of something that you're fearful of and maybe out of control, here say? Because as we know, sometimes social anxiety is out of our control in retrospect due to biological factors versus the environmental factors and the like. You can't draw yourself in there, obviously, of that kind of basically scenario that I've just set to you as a classic example. Now, an overview recap of shyness to remind you all. With shyness, 1, it's a characteristic. 2, it's a quality. 3, it's not a mental illness. 4, doesn't throw you at the severity of a social anxiety attack or just social anxiety. To share with you all, shyness is being comfortable with the uncomfortable. Number 5, everyone's shy at one stage in their life in a new environment with new people and new surroundings. 6, They may act nervous towards you. 7, normal to feel shy, nervous when meeting someone new or new environment, as you won't know what they're going to think, act or say towards you until you have the courage to obviously make that social contact and engage and communicate with that particular someone. You may not even know what they're like, or shall we say, we can overcome the shyness over, like a game, we could pull it through here. Okay, for example, now going on to social awkwardness, just to give you another recap on all this, is social awkwardness is again different to obviously these two terms that I've addressed to you of shyness and social anxiety. Yet it is different, however, and there is a lot of misunderstandings, misconceptions of all these terms. That's why I'm here, as I said, to address to you all to gain a better understanding of it all. For social awkwardness, however, number 1, awkwardness isn't like shyness or social anxiety, as I've just mentioned. 2, awkwardness isn't knowing what to say to someone. 3, awkwardness is like dead silence, basically certain silence, pause, and you're engaging sort of thing. A classic example maybe for you to illustrate better about the social awkwardness is basically, I may end up absorbed in my phone. Here's an example while I'm at a party. We'll put that in as a party. I'm trying to engage or avoid a conversation with you all on a scale. Not on purpose though. I am still listening and absorbing to what you're saying now and again, even if you think, oh, I'm not, and I'm avoiding eye contact now and again and pick out a few statements to what you shared to me, alright, and then you get angry at me again, then you revert to, you might want to revert back to what I shared about certain people that are autistics, that they do show these characteristics of social awkwardness. Some of us on the spectrum that I've been following are doing their best to actually engage with people more, basically, despite that, like, even though now it's basically the month of Autism Awareness Month, all we agreed on, and some of us is just about autism acceptance, just being accepted as a whole, as a person, regardless of our, struggles of what we face, regardless what it is. Another one is basically, I think, to address to you all to gain a better understanding, is to revert back to some of my videos, maybe, I don't know, one of them, why judge me before you get to know me. Another one is in the socialization series, I have actually apologized, made a story about my, social anxiety. It's in the socialization playlist if you want to listen in. I think I gave a few tips and advice on how I came about it. Basically, can't the world stop spinning or something is the title. It's bound to be there though, just to address it all to you. And then some other ones I recommend for you to maybe read and actually follow through to understand what I'm coming from in this part, that may intertwine some way and may sound repetitive, but like I said, I humbly apologize if I do sound as if I'm repeating, but I want to get my message across loud and clear one way or another. Okay, when, like, you may be questioning me while you're angry or frustrated with me, am I shy? I can be, yes, shy, and it's like any normal human being in a new environment with new people, I can be a little bit socially awkward, but then once I get out of my skin, that I'm pushing myself now to get out there and actually socialize. Basically, like someone would say, I'll talk the subject to death, or I just talk and talk and talk about it, fully shut up. As if people might want to put duct tape around my mouth. As the saying goes, it's kind of cruel to think it that way, but that's how someone addressed it to me. So I humbly apologize to any of the followers that are in the groups I'm in. So advanced, what I'm sharing is just what I've learned and experienced right now while socializing, and I'm trying to remove that label mentality and everything else that's in between what's been said about me, as I've shared with you guys, maybe on the private or on certain parts there. Do I have social anxiety is another question. Depending on where I am at that given moment of time and what I'm doing while socializing, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, as again, socially awkward, yet I do want to interact with others, even though, again, depending on the situation, if I can actually make icebreakers. I've learned now to find some icebreakers to break the ice, or when it comes down to talking to people, start a no-brainer. Hi, how are you? A quick smile maybe, and then maybe move on, introducing myself, who I am, and then maybe say a few hobbies and interests, and then listen to their hobbies and interests, and if there's something similar that we are clicking, then maybe it will make me easier to actually be in comfortable skin while talking and conversing with those people. As we know, though, I am starting to get better over time with working on my weaknesses, on these social awkwardness, shyness, and all these other personal traits versus, behavioral traits. Basically, as I said before, I may feel uncomfortable with the comfortable, That's what and how I'll explain social awkwardness to you is in my jurisdiction, basically, of my term, how I'll look at it as a clear example about me as it is. But again, I'll explain a little bit more about it as an overview of, social awkwardness. Number 4 was being socially awkward doesn't mean I had social anxiety, though, just to bear in mind. Maybe this can be a few advice to you all as a reminder. Everyone is different, however, and how we treat others will determine the outcome and determine basically how you treat others. Like the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. We should accept each other's differences and embrace being different, because obviously, as I said, I think in one of my videos, it's okay to be different. I've made it clear as day on most of my videos. Why should be the same as everyone else? Why should we, wear the same clothes as every Joe Blogs out on the street when we may want to pick our own style, be it rock star, be it punk, whatever it may be? As we know, yes, more on the piece about fashion maybe later, in that retrospect and appearance sort of thing. If you want me to share that in the beauty image series, I will gladly do so, in my humble opinion about what it is. Number 5, I do try to acknowledge how I feel or try to show it in a way while I transit from social anxiety to social awkwardness and maybe the shyness, just by managing and coping the best way I can for me and no one else. I know I can't change make things better for certain people right now. I know I can't please everyone. I'm not here to please everyone. I'm just trying to be the original self, on my original copy of myself. Be it if many people, here's an example, don't like the way I dress, speak, act, think, whatever, that's their choice. I won't, take it against them, because obviously, like some people may think, as I said earlier in the piece, right at the very beginning, many people label me as too hard to understand, too hard to please, whatever the case may be. But I'm easy come, easy go. I try my hardest to actually accept everyone's differences, as many people may know. Last but not least, for the term reserved, just a little bit on that, even though I haven't mentioned this to you all, but I'll bring it out to you of the 2 main points, what I can recall on socially reserved or reserved. Number 1, you're comfortable within yourself and your skin and all of your surroundings you're in, as well as the social setting and that surroundings, be it that classic example of being illustrating, the party that you're invited to. Number 2 is you don't want or wish to talk to anyone. Okay, my advice on here, though, I'm a bit of that, as well as the social awkwardness and all this in between. Again, people might get confused and question people of this, basically. Again, is similar to the ones I will address, is why you're quiet, why are you shy, why don't you socialize, why don't you, well, we do want to socialize, we do want to engage, we do want to basically, be out there, even though, many people might mistake also social awkwardness versus the socially reserved, basically, as introverts, but that's not always the case. This is different again. Okay, my advice to you all before I end this is, if I act a certain manner towards you, please don't take it personally to how I act, think, say or do with certain situations. It may not feel right to you in that situation that I'm in, or when I'm talking to you, you may think I'm not saying it in the right way, of the right answer, how you want it there and then. I am doing my utmost, being honest to you with what you've asked me. So like I said in one of my videos on that, why judge me before getting to know me, is, my pet peeve is basically, you asked me for my opinion, I gave it to you, it may not be best to your understanding. Yes, okay, like I said before, everyone's wired differently, especially us on the autistic, holistic spectrum. reality that we wire differently. With our world is different to yours. Maybe, like I said, if you walk in our shoes while we walk in yours, then we get a better understanding. But anyway, that leads up to what I'm saying here. Also, with this, before that, is don't assume that I'm rude when you think I'm just switching off, socially interacting, or socially, shall we say, fully absorbing into some sort of activity. Be it, like, classic example, I'm at a party, I'm socially, engaging with my phone more than to you. I am engaging with you, but in my retrospect, I am starting to now learn more about eye contact and, versus, feedback versus, all that communication process, sender versus receiver versus, feedback and all that jazz that I learned in business communication. Okay, be in my shoes maybe for a while as well. I would with yours, walking in your shoes, It's all about, as I said before, maybe acceptance of being different, just acceptance of basically, but within this difference of my world, basically, you may thank me later that, for what I illustrated to you, basically, of what maybe you've asked me, regardless what it may be, of how I see things in my world, of my life, of what I've been through, as well based on my life experiences, who knows, I don't know. I don't mean to assume it, but I feel there is something in my life right now, like my dad said to me, that there must be a particular reason to why all the people I used to know are really sick and whatnot, be it if it was a nurse or whatever it may be, that maybe there's a little edging somewhere of a calling there. I don't know. But yeah, it could be a range of different feelings. Basically, if I want to be left alone for a little while I'm, socially exhausted, like I said about the social energy tank running near empty, need my time out, that's fine. This is basically, wanting to be alone for a bit, even if my social anxiety is on the up, that's fine as well. But do not, for under 15 circumstances, maybe rush to my aid. It would be nice to maybe just show, and even if you have your right intentions, just to ask if I'm okay and maybe notice some symptoms of certain mental illnesses that I'm addressing to you all right now, so that you know how to handle people with care. Also, when I do want to be left alone, please respect my wishes. Don't take it to heart that, oh, Kieran doesn't like me, Kieran's this, lazy, and all these other lame excuses or labels or whatever, assumptions, whatever you want to call it, under the sun. I'm not lazy. This is just how I work. This is maybe, as some people on the autistic spectrum, of maybe the ones I've been supporting on some pages, will probably agree with me that sometimes when it comes to social interaction, for some of us, it gets tiring when we push ourselves to be somewhere at a place that may be making us uncomfortable. I get socially drained. I get really exhausted really darn quick right now, and I can only take a certain amount of social interaction. I am learning to try and social engage with bigger groups over time, like as a tip and advice. I'm doing baby steps for us to progress on, as I've given you all about these tips. You got to remember, while I'm away, having that, social energy tank refill, or that social anxiety attack, basically, like anyone probably, eventually I will come back to you and interact and talk to you, but when I'm ready. So don't forever push me to that extremity thinking, oh, you should be able to do this, because at the end of the day, as I said, we're all different. We need to accept each other's differences, and no matter what those differences are, we should be able to just accept them. This, because like I said, most of my pet peeves right now is why should we be someone that we're not, even if you expect us to be a certain, I don't know, figurine of some sort, say, or a classic figurine, expect us to maybe, I don't know, be more like you guys in the sense of, I don't know, being creative, being imaginative, be it whatever it may be. But then again, as I said, we're all different, and no matter what these differences are, we need to realize that things need to be up in the full sight. But well, this basically ends my part 2, episode 6, if I can recall, of the recap of the social anxiety versus social awkwardness and shyness, basically, as well as just a touch brief of basically what I've said of the socially reserved. Give me the like for thumbs up for support, basically. Also feel free to comment below if I've missed out anything or you can relate to some of these classic examples I've shared with you all, basically. As well, feel free to private message me on Facebook, AspieAnswers, or follow me on Twitter, AspieAnswersAll, as well as Facebook if you want to private message me there, or even just follow me. Also, if you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe for daily, weekly vlogs that I'm hoping to bring out, even though some of these vlogs are just behind schedule. Certain ones I want to address, even though I'm still contemplating about the one that I'm sharing want to share with you all. But then again, I try not to, pull myself back in the anxiety stage of, what people may think, say, or do, especially, if it involves a particular few people in my life. Basically, giving them the benefit of the doubt after I've tried so many times before. Anyway, no further ado, guys. Thanks for the support so far. Thanks for watching. Love what you do. Do what you love. Basically, also, love yourself. Don't be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Till next time, I'll see you all again soon.